It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner!
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenny Walker! Touchdown! Smarty!
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Victory Tuesday morning to you. It is the 9th day of January 2024. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Ryan Elke, Ben Glaze, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Our Meyer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. That's RYAN is how you spell his name. I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are we today? What's going on? Anything?
Good morning.
Anything exciting happened yesterday? Were you,
For you, yes.
Wait, Ben, are you not a Michigan fan?
No, I am not.
Really? Who are you a fan of?
Florida and State. Just State's kind of a default team, just because they're the home state team. I'm more of a Gators fan, but yeah.
Really? How did that come about?
Just as a kid, for some reason, I fell in love with the Gators when I was really young. And
Mascots and colors.
Yeah, probably. So I've been rooting for them ever since.
Wow, that's sad. I mean, good for you. That's great.
I've had my time in the early 2000s, or mid 2000s.
Yeah, mid 2000s. It was great to be a Florida Gator. One of the very few programs to win both a national championship in football and in basketball.
Right.
So that's kind of fun.
So I can let other people have their turn.
Oh, that's so kind of you. You had the Tebow.
Yeah.
You had Tebow. That's
exactly
great. Well, for us normal people, that's good. That's good. I am so I'm elated. I am happy for Jim Harbaugh. I'm happy for all the people that hate him. I think that's really – I try not to be that way, but that really is what it is. I mean, I was getting the tweets last night. I was seeing some of them this morning, and, it's just comical how much people dislike Jim Harbaugh. Whether it's his quirkiness, his coaching style, people love to watch other people fail. And so when they didn't win a national championship in their first week on the job, people were – that's just how people are, though. They love to see. It's just human nature, right? If you're not one of ours, then we're going to root against you, and it is what it is. I don't take any of it personally. I think it's highly entertaining. It's a really good back and forths already today. Washington just wet the bed. That's what they did. We're going to get into that game, of course, all morning long. It's going to be the topic of conversation for us because, I mean, it's the national championship, right? But Washington, I thought that they played about as poorly as they could have played. Like, Michael Penix cost himself some money last night. He played awful. Their offensive line was awful. The officiating was awful. The called back 20-yard bomb that he turned out to be a 40-yard swing. You negate the 20-yard reception, and then you tack on 10 yards, or going back the other way. It might have been a 30-yard catch. Like, that was a big swing, big momentum change in the game, and then for Michigan to get the ball right back and march down the field and score, that was a game-changing play. And I get it. People are mad at the refs. I understand. Like, yeah, they were god-awful. I mean, there were certain things I'm like, oh, boy. And then there's other times like, well, that's nice. And, look, I'm not gonna go against them. I'm not going to go against them. It would have helped if Washington could have stopped the run. That would have helped. But, that's Michigan's MO. And I tried to tell people that they were just going to run right through them. Nobody wanted to believe me. But that's what was going to happen. People, Michael, J.J. McCarthy's not good enough to get caught in a shootout. It's not going to be a shootout. It's not going to be. I mean, I had it 42-17, and the final score was pretty good. Pretty good when it comes down to that. So, 34-13. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. I thought we could have gotten another touchdown. We had our moment where our offense didn't do anything for second quarter, basically. Typical of this team. And, they survive in advance. And, Jim Harbaugh got the Gatorade bath, and, Blake Corum and the boys could celebrate, and he could celebrate with his brother. And, what an all-time great football family, and his mom and dad were there, and the Gatorade bath, and just all of it. All of it, man. I love it. I do want to bring this up, though. And this is going to sound weird, and maybe you understand, maybe you don't. But photographers on the sideline, I don't know why everyone believes that they're the only photographer on the sideline. And I don't know where this is coming from. Just because, like, the Gatorade bath happened, I'm surprised we're not going to hear or not going to see, some photog wig out about my camera. They all act like they're the only person to walk on God's green earth, and like they are the most important people. Like, dude, you're one of 10,000 people down here taking photographs. It doesn't matter. Like, get out of here. Dude, the amount of run-ins I have with cameramen on the sideline that I don't do anything. I'm not in the way. I don't say anything. I just watch how they act and behave, and it's really, really pathetic. So I just want to throw that out there. Like, I'm watching the way that you behave, and I don't find it, I don't find it very, very flattering of you to be walking around, running all over the place, guys arguing with each other on the sidelines. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. So when I saw the Gatorade bath and it going towards the cameraman, I can only imagine what was going on. This is a $5,000 camera. I can hear it. I can hear it now. I watched it happen at the Quick Lane Bowl. Two cameramen barking at each other. It was like the first quarter. I'm like, will you two shut up? It sound like idiots down here. The shot you're getting, everybody at the back of the end zone is getting a much clearer shot than what you are. You got coaches, players, all kinds of people in your way. Just stop. They should. That's what they need to do. They need to limit those credentials. You could pull 50 of those right now for every game. Just pull them. Get them out of there. You don't need 1,000 photographers. You really don't. Like, who's getting the rights to shoot the game? Maybe give, 20 field passes. Maybe. Outside of that, get out of here. You're just getting in the way anyways. And then running around like you're the best thing since sliced bread and your stuff doesn't stink. All right. Now that I got that off my chest, if it gets into a shootout, Michigan is screwed. McCarthy isn't good enough to keep up with Penix. Whoever wrote that yesterday, how you feel now? How do you feel now? Great call. Good call. Good job. Good analysis there. If it gets into a shootout, not good enough to keep up with Penix. Penix looked terrible yesterday. Terrible. Awful. That's one of the worst football games a starting quarterback who's been in a Heisman conversation has had in I don't know how long. Dude's missing wide open throws. You're going to tell me J.J. McCarthy's not good enough to keep up with the guy that can't hit a wide open receiver 25 yards down the field? Are you crazy? Are you nuts? While J.J.'s just throwing it into windows the size of, your basement window. No big deal. But J.J.'s no good. Goes to Michigan. He's no good. I get it. I understand. So, yes, let the insufferableness continue after this here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Welcome to the Drew World Order. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino. There's a party on this hill. Same show, the soulful bad boy of R&B, Genuine. Ride the pony for a two-stepping good time. Tickets start at $45 and are on sale now at the box office or online at etix.com. Genuine. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices. And when you download the Kroger app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Snow on the ground across most of the great state of Michigan. However, although the golf season might have come to a close in 2023, Matt Golden and his team already planning on 2024. And they want to make plans with you, too, at the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant, folks. It's smack dab in the middle state. It's easy to get to no matter what direction you are coming from. All you need to do is pick up the phone and dial 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Or visit tullymoregolf.com, tullymoregolf.com, and book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. I love the idea that, you know, people seek you out to talk smack. Like, people will look. There is one guy, I forget what his name is, APK, who knows. But anytime somebody does something at Michigan, he is the first person to let me know, as if I was totally unaware. One guy decided to respond to my story on Facebook because I said another one in reference to working an event. And he said, another what? And then responded back. This was after the Minnesota game. Minnesota wins 73-71. So I went on to explain where another one came from DJ Khaled. And then I went on to inquire as to his inquiry as to why he felt it necessary to report to me a score of a game that I was physically present at and read the score of that game to the crowd that was at that game. And, of course, he tucked his tail and was like, oh, no inquiry. And I'm like, no, answer me. Answer me, damn it. I'm talking to you. Now you talk to me. You're the one that brought this up. Where are you going? Where are you going? You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. And so, of course, I wake up this morning to a flurry of texts and tweets and all kinds of just stuff. Just stuff. JJ's no good. This team stinks. Here's a good one. Rocky Bellinger tweets me and says, Bellino and on XP Mornings and Huge Show are going to talk about this championship until they croak. It's going to be unbearable. The only sanity will be Freddie the Pizza Man and Ryan Elke in the morning and Eric Zane whenever Bill lets him on. It's going to be a rough 2024. Hey, newsflash, Rocky, we still talk about 97. It's a national championship. I assume, based on that tweet, that you are a Michigan State fan. Do you not still talk about 2000? Do you not remember what that was like? I know that Izzo still cashing checks off of 2000. He's doing just fine. You don't still talk about it? Or you do still talk about it? We are going to, it's not just 2024. We are going to talk about this season in particular forever. Forever. We'll never shut up about this. Ever. Just so you know. Like, we're never going to not talk about the 2023 regular season and everything that went into it. Everything. The Harbaugh Burgergate, the beginning of the year, the Stallions suspension, Sharon Moore and Penn State. I love the bleep out of you, man. Beating Ohio State for 3 consecutive years, winning the Big Ten 3 consecutive years, dispatching Alabama in overtime at the Rose. You're not coming up and then winning the national championship. Find me a better story. Find me something else to talk about, please. If the Lions win this weekend, like, you're talking about in all time. The Lions have only won 12 games in a season, one other time in 90 years of professional football in Detroit. We have won double-digit games 10 times in franchise history. They did it this year. Michigan wins their first national championship since 1997. They'd been to the playoffs 3 consecutive years and got their doors blown off the first time around. The second time around, final score is not necessarily indicative of that game. That's more self-inflicted. I think the lights were a little too bright personally, but that's just me. But they rallied back. JJ brought him back, but he stinks, right? He's no good. Okay, fine. He's no good? He's no good. He's just a starting quarterback at Michigan, but he's not any good. And Michael Penix is great because he's been throwing the ball against Pac-12 defenses all year, which I've been telling you all year long. The Pac-12 doesn't play defense. Wags tried to argue that with me. I'm like, no, bring any one of those teams over here. The myth of the SEC. A question for the haters out there, for ESPN. Would Georgia still be favored today? And if so, would they like to play tomorrow? I don't know what else we have to do. So yeah, Rocky, it's never like we're never going to not talk about this. This doesn't happen. I'm going to guess here, Rocky, that I'm just using Rocky, for example. He's the only one. He's the closest one in the Twitter search poll. Looking at your picture, you were not around for the last time that your team won a national championship in football. You weren't. You might not have been around for the other national championship you won in basketball in 79, but you did win one in 2000. And I'm not here to make this about any other team except for Michigan, but it's a national title. It never gets old. You'll never stop talking about it. And as a Michigan fan who lived through the Rich Rod, Brady Hoke, everything post Lloyd Carr, and Bo didn't even want to hire Lloyd. And we could save that conversation for another day, but there's some things there, some Skeletors in the closet that, you know what, I think we can definitely move by. You know, one guy had said that Michael Penix isn't a first rounder. Calm down. I said Michigan gave Michael Penix hell tonight. He said Penix isn't a first rounder. Calm down. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? He's not a first rounder. So calm down. They drafted Zach Wilson in the first round. Amaroose 97. They drafted Desmond Ridder in the first round. Like, come on. Malik Willis was a first rounder, but JJ isn't? Okay. That's fine. It's fine. That 1989 team was my favorite. What a great win for them yesterday. I felt terrible at the end of the game when they kept talking first since the Truman administration had kept saying, this time it's not a split title. Yeah, I heard that. It doesn't bother me. People say it all the time. We trust me, we're used to it. The last split title being what, 2005? Do I have to go back and go through all the split titles that everybody has? That's fine. That's fine. Your team's never going to win one in the Common Era, so that's okay. I'm good with that. That's how I feel today. They did it. It's going to make a lot of people sick, which I don't understand in the first place how you come from the state of Michigan. You're not a Michigan fan to begin with. That's neither here nor there. That's part of what I don't understand. Congratulations, Wolverines and AB. Nate on YouTube. Shout out to you, Nate. Appreciate it. A lot of people congratulated me yesterday. I didn't make a single tackle all season. I did not carry the ball one time, but thank you. I will take all of your congratulations and pass it on to those who actually do the work to make everybody else feel better about themselves and about their teams and everything else. Like, I'm sitting there watching, and I was hollering at the TV. We had a small little gathering, 5-6 people. And we had some pizza and some wings. Trust me, it did not sit well. Apparently, I was just marinating for this morning. And, we hang out, we're watching, we're yelling and screaming at the TV. And, there were points of frustration. We went through our dip in offense in the second quarter where we just, didn't move the ball. And it was like we wanted to prove something by passing with our very predictable, hey, we're going to pass it here. Where was the play action game? Let's get McCarthy out on the boot. All the same things I talk about every single week with Michigan football, all being very, very out in the open in the second quarter there. And, the winner of this game, the most valuable player of this game, was Michigan's D-line. I mean, they were able to drop, 7 guys comfortably all game long and bring the heat with 4. So we'll get back into it. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go through the drive chart. But, man, it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. That much is for certain. Michigan and the Wolverines, your 2024 national champions. Back with more X's and Bros after this Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he's a managing shareholder at Dorn Mayhew's Grand Rapids office. Their world headquarters are in Troy, Michigan, on the east side of the state, and they have locations all around the world. They have over 550 motivated accounting professionals, 90 years in business, and I mentioned the 10 offices worldwide. So if you want to connect and partner with one of the top CPA, accounting, and business firms in the world, they're right here in Michigan. Dorn Mayhew's Troy office on the east side of the state, and Josh Garvey is a managing shareholder for their Dorn Mayhew GR office. Right there by the S-curve, you'll see the new Dorn Mayhew sign. You can find out more. Just Google Dorn Mayhew. That's DOERENMAYHEW or Dorn.com. They're one of America's and the world's top CPA, accounting, and business firms. They're Dorn Mayhew.
Tracy, over to you for weather.
The sun must be shining, Dave, because the 7 for 7 sale is back at Meijer. Mix or match hundreds of items like Dannon Greek yogurt, Meijer frozen steamable vegetables, and Kraft macaroni and cheese. Pick any 7 for just $7. There's a strong chance of saving with the same quality Meijer deals in-store or online. Back to you, Dave.
Sounds great, Tracy.
Deals so good, you've just got to talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org. Huge here. AB's doing a heck of a job, and I'm ready to drop some huge opinions about what he's talking about later today at 3 on the Michigan Sports Network.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. You know, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll make the playoffs absolutely electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Plus, everyone gets a no-sweat same-game parlay for every playoff game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers bet just $5, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Opt-in is required. One no-sweat token issued per eligible day after opt-in. No-sweat bonus bet issued based on the amount of the losing qualifying bet. Eligibility, max reward limits, and deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. I see that the Detroit Tigers had congratulated the Michigan Wolverines, and of course their mentions are, folks, the social media people have nothing to do with the actual team itself. They just work there, right? They're not gonna balls and strikes doesn't matter. So the Tigers social media team. The big thing is like the cheaters. I saw a lot of that. Greg Doyle from the Indy Star wrote another quote-unquote hit piece, if you will, for the Indianapolis Star for whatever that's worth. Maybe they have Tyrese Halliburton, so I'll give him that. But look, I've invited him on the show multiple times. He's probably not going to take me up on it, but I've given him the number. I've given him his pick of time slot, 6:35, 7:35, 8:35, whatever time you want. We can record anytime. Just let me know. Greg Doyle of the Indianapolis Indy Star Tribune, whatever the hell. I don't know what the hell that's. You think I'm reading that thing? I'm reading that thing. But, I see the headline, and it's been pretty consistent. So, okay, all right. If that's the case, then let's do it. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it a little bit. And I'll be very interested to see how it all plays out for everyone. But, he's not going to call. So, Michigan beats Washington last night, and a pretty good exchange. What's the tone for Michigan fans when it gets vacated? It's not going to get vacated. It's not going to get vacated. That we've seen this happen multiple times, and if it does, let's say the NCAA does come back. Let's say that they do, and some of you people can be very, very pleased. The game was played. Teams won. Do you remember Louisville in 2013, Ohio State going to the Final Four in 99, so on and so forth? Like, it doesn't really matter if you vacate. It changes the record books. We all saw the game. We all watched it. I guarantee you the ratings were incredible. The entire country was watching Michigan versus Washington. The wins are not going to get vacated. It's not going to happen. If it were to happen, I guess hit the Men in Black button and act like you didn't watch it. Did you watch it? If you're one of those people, like this guy, anonymous texter here, what's the tone when for Michigan fans when it gets vacated? 1, put your name on it so I can address you properly. 2, I would love to have this conversation with you. 866-838-4843. Did you watch? Did you watch the game last night? Did you see Michigan's offensive and defensive lines just pummel Washington? Did you watch that? Did you see it happen? That's all I want to know. I mean, some people hate watch. That's what they do. They watch something because they hate them. And I get it, man. I understand. It's no different than watch like a train wreck is usually what we refer to it as. But like that's what that is. Like you can't stand Michigan, but you watched them. Washington wins the field. They win the coin toss. So they decide to defer. Michigan gets the football back. First thing I said was 12 plays, 7-minute drive all the way down the field. Punching it right on their forehead. All right, so they did in 8 plays and only went 84 yards. It only went 446, but it ended up with a Michigan touchdown. And Donovan Edwards, 41-yard carry. The first player that was able to go for 2 40-plus yard carries for touchdowns ever in the BCS or college football playoff era. That was pretty cool. And the fact that it was Donovan Edwards who, he was on the mic at the podium talking about this year and some of the struggles and people calling him out and this, that, and the third. He talked about seeing a therapist and mental health and taking it seriously and, knowing the ebbs and flows of life. And, so the young man sounded like he really had, he was really in a good place, which is important because Khalil Mullins got some carries last night. And, Donovan Edwards, big play Don. By the way, Michigan coming out in the BGBs, the big game blues, the all blues. I saw some people were upset over the uniforms that they were wearing. It's like you people are just mad about everything. Literally everything. Are you this miserable in real life? You are, aren't you? And the internet is your place to just go and spew your misery for all the world to see. What a strange life you live. I feel bad. Like find a hobby. Like go fishing, go play golf, go do something. Get off the internet. You miserable bleeps. Anyways, it was a beautiful run by Dono. The Don, Donovan Edwards. Gus Johnson. Love that guy. Should have been on the call. Is what it is. 41 yards to the house. The best part about it is both of his carries were very patient with a great jump cut and then burst of speed. Gone. Michigan surrenders a field goal. Defense holds fast there. And, I said hold fast. People thought that Michigan's offensive line was getting away with holding, and the big one is the ticky-tack one called against Washington. I didn't realize this was an ACC officiating crew. For anybody that has to watch ACC football, I am sorry. I am sorry. Wow, that's bad. Holy mackerel, they stink. And I'm not afraid to admit that. Like the holding call that negated the big gain from Washington. You know which one I'm talking about, where Michigan scores in the very next drive. Like that was... It might have looked like it, but it wasn't. I'm good with the hand fighting down the field. It's like, Will grabbed his jersey. Like the guy clearly pushed off, but it's fine. Let him play down the field. What do I care? That's that. But the holding, like, if we could get these officials to ref one NFL game in which Aiden Hutchinson is rushing the passer, the dude would be unstoppable. It'd be second in Flint every single drive because the refs would be if that's their flag, then great. I love it. I'm here for it. All for it. The very next drive after Michigan surrenders the field goal, 7-3, we feel pretty good. We take over 1st and 10 at the 14. Samaj running that out. I don't know why, but decided that he was going to try to make a play. I appreciate you, young fella. I love you a lot. We got a little loosey-goosey there end of the year running up on that punt in Alabama. And as I was telling somebody at the party I was watching, he was disparaging Samaj's name. And I said, look, dude, without his punt return, is that game against Iowa in the Big Ten Championship, are we still at 0-0? Like, are we still playing that football game as we speak? Well, I said, don't love him when he does something great and then hate him when he does something wrong. Like, does he need to learn? Yes. Are we learning right now? Yes. Did he learn in the second half? Yes. It's fine. You thought he saw something. Like, okay, the young man can break. He could be a game breaker. Let him run it out. But we're not going to say, like, oh, this guy stinks. And it's like they literally set up Michigan for a touchdown in an Iowa game in which we couldn't move the football. So Samaj brings it out. There's the 37-yard completion from J.J. McCarthy, who apparently is not any good, but Roman Wilson caught it, and it was great. 1st and 10 at the 46, incomplete pass to Samaj. 2nd and 10 for the 46. The Donovan Edwards, 46 yards, house call. 14-3. Michigan gets a punt, 3 and out. Huge, right there at the end of the first quarter. Michigan takes over 1st and 10 at the 21. They went Blake Corum for 59 yards down to the Washington 20-yard line on 1st down. Then began the second quarter, 1st and 10 for the Washington 20. Blake Corum for 3 yards. Khalil Mullins for 3 yards. Had to take a timeout. The pass was incomplete to Cornelius Johnson. And then we took the field goal, 4th and 4 from the 14. Like, I thought that was way too big. Way too big. Like, think about it. So I was trying to remember back to the graphic. But Michigan now has, like, number 1, number 3, and number 4 as the longest runs in the national championship game in the BCS and college football playoff era. Like, that's pretty crazy. And it all happened in one game. Like, in 3 plays, all the first, like, they were dominant there. And Michigan settles for a field goal there. I was kind of, I felt like you had to take the points, but I felt like we shouldn't have had to have been in the situation where we had to rely on a field goal. But it's fine because we get turnover on downs, we get the football right back, and then we're forced to punt. This is that second quarter where we don't do a whole lot. We turn it over on downs, going for it on 4th and 2 at the Washington 38, an incomplete pass to Roman Wilson. Didn't love the play call there. Like, let's get the waggle going. Let's get a little play action, a little naked boot, maybe a fake toss. Let's get him rolling left. Let's get him thrown across his body. And that way, in the event that somebody's not open, he can just, keep it himself. Turnover on downs. Washington scores the touchdown and goes into the half, down 7. And everyone's like, well, what do you think? What do I think? I think that you were up, you're up 14-3 with a chance to go up 21-3, and you're bleeping around, and you're going to find out. Like, there's too much of this. Like, we were trying to do, it felt like we were trying to do something. I don't know what we were trying to accomplish there in the second quarter offensively. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. And that's fine. It doesn't have to. It looked like there was a discussion over the wrong play call. Sharon Moore had JJ, off to the side. He's pointing down to the play sheet. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's a miscommunication along the way. That's fine. Washington gets the football back, and this could be it. This could be it. You got the stop and held them to a field goal. You got them to turn the ball over on downs. You marched down the field and scored a touchdown. Right? You took 4 points off the board from, getting the stop. You put 7 on the board. That's 11 points right there. You score another touchdown. We're talking about 18-point swing right here. You get the ball first in the second half. I'm nervous. Michael Penix under pressure, per usual, because Michigan's defensive line gave that young man hell. I mean, he was walking off the field holding his ribs, towel over his head, like he got beat to bleep last night. And the same, as I talked about it with Alabama, the same recipe, you could really apply it to every game. But for teams that have a relatively good passing offense, if you are able, and this carries over to the professional ranks as well, when you can get to the quarterback with 4, you change the complexion of the game. That's what it has. Your defensive line, or for God knows what reason you ran a 3-4, or if you ran a 3-3-5, like TCU did. Getting there with 4 guys is imperative because that gives you the ability to drop 7. So you have your 2 safeties deep automatically, which I can't figure out how on God's green earth guys kept getting open down the field. There was a point in the game where Washington is just dinking and dunking 5 yards at a time. And I'm like, why can't we do that? That's the frustrating part. You got this powerhouse offense. The minute we start to try to throw, everything, it took like a completely left turn from where we were at last week. Like, it's so inconsistent. It was driving me crazy to the point where I'm just yelling through my phone, run the damn ball. Just run the ball. At this point, we can't pass it for anything, but their guys just seemingly are open all the time. Now, granted, Michigan did a relatively good job on 90% of the plays, keeping the Washington receivers in front of them. And when you can bring pressure with 4 and you can drop 2 deep, that's giving you 5 guys. You typically have, most offenses are a pro-style 11 personnel, so you have 3 wide receivers, you got 3 corners, 2 guys in the middle of the field. Whether you wanted to have one of those be your star, your viper, whatever, hybrid defender position you want to call it, or if you're running a 4-2, that's totally fine. However you want to do it. 4-2 is just nickel defense. That's all it is. And if your linebackers are good in space, good in coverage, that's great. Michigan being able to pressure with 4 guys changes everything. If you get to the quarterback with 4, you can do whatever you want. Michael Penix Jr. comes out 1st and 10 from the 25, throws the ball. It's the one where the pressure causes the interception. Pressures don't always exactly correlate to sacks, right? Sometimes you have some slippery, we see this all the time where people are like, how many sacks does Hutch have? It's like, if the guy's getting double or triple teamed and no one else can get to the quarterback, that's on everybody else. And that's something that will be addressed in the offseason. There has to be somebody on the opposite side of Hutch that can get there. Maybe that guy's James Houston. We don't know. He's been out the entire season. But the pressure forces the quarterback to throw the football. It forces the quarterback to get uncomfortable. The last thing you want is a QB that's comfortable in the pocket, that feels confident in stepping up when the pressure gets deep behind him. It could step up and deliver a strike. Confident quarterbacks will kill you. And what they did is they took Michael Penix's confidence right from him. And it's the pressure that was generated that forced the offensive lineman to step on the ankle of Michael Penix, and he didn't have enough on it, threw it. Will Johnson gets the interception. You feel good. Michigan only gains 12 yards after the pick and is forced to kick a field goal. It's now 20-10. Washington would get a field goal on a 7-play, 47-yard drive in about 2:57. Michigan would punt. We'd have a punt off. Michigan punt, Washington punt, Michigan punt, Washington punt, Michigan punt, Washington punt. Swear to God, 6 consecutive punts. And then Michigan gets the football back, 1st and 10, fourth quarter. They're at their own 29, up 7. And that was the J.J. McCarthy pass to Colston Loveland for 41 yards over the middle down to the Washington 30. Blake Corum ran it for 3 yards. J.J. to Roman Wilson for 12. Blake Corum for 3 yards. Blake Corum for 12 yards. Touchdown. Blake the Great. That was it. That was it. And as you had that touchdown right there was off of the 2nd and 10 at the Washington 33, in which Michael Penix Jr. threw it to Odunze for 32 yards. The holding penalty is a 10-yard penalty. It's a 42-yard swing. It's 2nd and 20 from the Washington 23. They ended up with a 4th and 9. They had to punt. Was that a hold? Was it not a hold? I thought those officials were awful. Was it a hold? I wouldn't have called it a hold. I didn't think it was holding. Like, it might, just because it looks like something doesn't mean that it is. I say that in basketball all the time. It might look like a foul, but did he actually foul the player? I think it was Braden McGregor, I want to say, coming in off the edge. And the left arm of the offensive lineman is across the body. McGregor has him beat, but as the left arm is across the body, is there enough of a pull there to force Braden McGregor to the ground, or does he fall on his own volition? Once again, if you want to complain about the refs, hey, look, they gave me the screw in Dallas. I got the good end of the stick in Houston as a fair trade for me. You take that deal? Damn good deal. I'd take that deal. Udovich, you take that deal? Inglourious Bastards reference for you. So then it's 27-13. It's a must-score situation here for Michael Penix, and that's when Mikey Stainer still, it's Mikey! He likes it! Gets the pick, 81 yards, takes it all the way down to the Washington 8-yard line. And who else? Blake Corum, 2 carries, 8 yards, touchdown Wolverines, turnover on downs, end of ball game. I want to say, Coach DeBoer there, I like him a lot. And I'll tell you why. There is at the end of the game there, if you're Kalen DeBoer, you could have called the timeout. You could have burned your timeouts and tried to get the football back. You're down 2 scores. It's over. We get it. I thought his kids did a great job. I thought they're really well coached. Their offensive line just could not protect. And I tried to tell John Wagner this. They don't play defense in the Pac-12. The Pac-12 was like the new version of the Big 12. We got to step aside. Hour 3 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Fish On, the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit, January 11th through 14th.
At the Suburban Collection Showplace with over 7 acres of the newest fishing tackle, fishing boats, and fishing trips. Take it from fishing pro Mark Zona.
This is the largest pure fishing show in the country.
It's the Fishing Boat Show. Buy from dealers who know how to rig them right.
Shop fishing tackle only available once a year. Seminars on 5 stages.
Meet guides and lodge owners. The Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit, January 11th through 14th at the Suburban Collection Showplace.
Whoa, put that one in the box.
Huge here with a reminder that I'll be broadcasting live for the Suburban Collection Showplace in Detroit for the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit. I'll be there Friday, 3 until 6, statewide broadcast. Lomas Brown will be at the Impact Power Sports booth where you can register to win Lomas's Lions golf cart. It's this Thursday through Sunday, the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi. Look for the huge show in Lomas Brown. They're Friday starting at 2 p.m.
Save big on fuel with M-Perks. Earn points on your Meijer purchases in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save up to $1 off per gallon of gas at Meijer. Claim your M-Perks fuel rewards in the Meijer app and ID at the pump to save. Plus, earn points for qualifying Meijer Express purchases and look for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more. 10 cents to $1 off per gallon based on points earned. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Imagine this. A day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Coming up later today at 3 on the Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, Vietnam.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Victory Tuesday morning to you.
Bing bong, hurt my feelings.
Oh, it's so great to be riding along with you, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio, from Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Call us on the Meyer Supercenter guest line. You can do that too. 866-838-4843. 866-838-4843. 866-838. Huge. That's the number. Find us on Twitter at XB Mornings. We're on Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well. On BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. I just saw that Freddie the Pizza Man, I just saw on Instagram. Freddie the Pizza Man's actually closed today in celebration for the Michigan Wolverines. That's awesome. Congratulations. Can I talk you into a Blake Corum special? $2 off in honor of Blake Corum. Or $2 gets donated to the Valiant Fund to fund the Michigan Wolverines and their NIL deals. What about that? Blake the Great delivering Freddie the Pizza Man. Come on. I think we got something here. USDA Scott wants to talk a little maize and blue. Good morning, USDA Scott. How are you today, my friend?
15-0 national champions. And you didn't have an Aiden Hutchinson. You didn't have a Rashad Gary this year. You didn't have any preseason All-American lineman, and I think that's one of the first times in Michigan ever. You did it as a team. This was a team. And I know you're going to hear all the haters, some of the haters, at least, especially ESPN or somebody. Well, it wasn't a normal Ohio State team. Well, Penn State and Iowa were phony. Well, Alabama shouldn't have been there. Washington won 8 games by less than a – that, you know what? I'm not going to swear, but those people can just shut up because you did something that no other team has ever done, and this is the stat I wanted to give you.
25 points? Is that the stat?
No. Michigan beat five top 15 teams in a row. And not only that, but you did it in your last 5 games of the season, which I don't know if that'll ever be done again. So in my mind, as a team, with the adversity, with what the coaches went through, arguably one of the best seasons that has ever been played in college football history. End of story.
You're damn right, Scott. You want a stat? You want a stat? You want a good stat for you? Michigan is the first team to allow less than 25 points. Did not surrender more than 25 points in all 15 games this year. The last team to surrender 25 or less than 25 points in every game they played in a season was Minnesota 120 years ago.
Yeah. No, I mean there was nothing that was total domination. You just dominated the whole game. It's not like you put up 45 on everybody and they scored 28. You dominated the whole game with a bunch of really, really good players that you can't be prouder as a Michigan fan. You know for a fact I am no blue wall. I'm no blue wall, but it really is. It was exciting to see, one of the greatest seasons, and I'm seeing a little bit of similarity with the Lions. And I'm not a betting man. I don't bet, but Lions are going off at 1,800 to 1. I think I might have a yard that I can put on DraftKings on that for a Super Bowl, because the teams that are ahead of them Baltimore beat us good. Baltimore beat us really well. But are you afraid of anybody else?
I can't think that far in advance. Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to.
I know. I just wanted to say that, but enjoy the day and
thank you.
Just wow. And I don't care what happens. We talked about this a few weeks ago when I said they were going to win the national championship, that it'll about 1 week or 2 weeks they'll give you before they start talking about all the bad things. But you know what? Tell them to shut up. You got it. They can't take it away, and it's one of the greatest seasons in history of college football. End of story.
USDA, Scott, and I appreciate that. If you'd have combined Alabama's offensive production and it added that to Washington's total last night, they still wouldn't have beaten the Wolverines. Michigan is the first team in 120 years to not give up 25 or more points in any game this season. That's incredible. You beat number 10 Penn State, number 2 Ohio State, number 16 Iowa, number 4 Alabama, number 2 Washington. It didn't matter. I'm glad we got Alabama, not Florida State, because I already know the conversation if it would have been Florida State and Jordan Travis was injured and whatnot. So I'm cool with that. I thought the committee did him dirty. Obviously, if you listen to the show, you know my feelings on that. The committee got it wrong, but that's neither here nor there. Put anybody in front of them. I would love to see Michigan versus Georgia this week. That's icing on the cake. Like, why not? Anybody else got any plans on Saturday? Let's do it. Also, why isn't the national championship game played on a Saturday? Why isn't that the way? Why isn't that the case? Why is it that, okay, for New Year's Day, the history, all right, whatever. But why not play the national championship on a Saturday? That really, maybe you have to give them the full week off, and, maybe we need to rethink the calendar. We play Saturdays all season long until, somebody wants to, tweak the schedule and throw a game on in the middle of the week, and then throw a game on a Friday night, and throw a game on a Monday and then Tuesday, right? They got to get out of the way of the NFL and everything else. It doesn't make any sense. You play Saturdays all year long. Let's play Saturdays. Let's play it on a Saturday. I would have loved to have been able to go somewhere and do something for this game. Although I probably wouldn't have stayed out because I had Lions the next day anyways. But you get my point. Just being on a Monday is, it makes it a little bit more challenging. Some people ask why I wasn't at the event at Chrysler. Dude, I just want a break. That's it. That's all. That's literally the only reason. They're like, hey, do you want to host this thing? Not really. I really don't. I'd rather just watch it in the comfort of my own home. I'm tired. So no, I don't want to host this thing. I'm sorry. That's it. It's literally it. I'd rather just be at home for once. Just be at home and just watch it. Even though I didn't watch it at home, I watched it at a friend's house. But that to me was, yeah. I would much rather I'd rather take the evening off and hang out with some people, watch the game, and be able to say what I want to say when I want to say it. Look, Moose, MRoos 97. I don't care what you think about J.J. McCarthy. Go Google it yourself. You want draft prospectus? You got the internet. Go Google it. But, this is one of those things where, years ago, J.J. McCarthy had gone on to Twitter on November 15th of 2020, said, I want all Michigan fans to do this. Take 3 deep breaths and have faith. Faith that every single coach, player, employee in that building is doing everything they possibly can to be great. And who would have thought? A couple of years later, here we are. J.J. McCarthy, national champion. 1 loss as a starter. Pretty incredible. Back with more X's and Bros after this Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Welcome to the Drew World Order. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino. There's a party on this hill. Same show, the soulful bad boy of R&B, Genuine. Ride the pony for a two-stepping good time. Tickets start at $45 and are on sale now at the box office or online at etix.com. Genuine. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com. Huge here. AB's doing a heck of a job, and I'm ready to drop some huge opinions about what he's talking about later today at 3 on the Michigan Sports Network.
man. It's Wallow from Million Dollars Worth of Game. Guess what, y'all? Podcasts are officially on the YouTube Music app. So now you can listen to or watch.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. A little snow on the ground. Be careful if you're out there driving. Get ready for your commute. Take your time. Rather be there safe than sorry. It's okay if you're a couple minutes late. Tell your boss, don't worry about it. You want to be late or you want to be in a ditch, right? So be careful. Drive with your eyes on the road, your hands on the wheel, please. Golf season is coming to a close, but that's okay because Matt Golden and company, they're already getting ready for 2024. Big plans out there in 2024. What you need to do is make big plans to go visit him at Tullymore Golf Resort. It's located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. And it offers not one but two championship courses. You got a little variety there, too. You get Tullymore and St. Ives. And you can stay right there on the grounds, and they have a free shuttle to take you back and forth. Sounds great, right? You stay right there. You stay and play. Put it on the calendar. Get the boys together. Get your group together. And visit Tullymore in 2024 by visiting TullymoreGolf.com. TullymoreGolf.com or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Let's get to Bob from Waters wants to talk Michigan. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Anthony. I just want to be real quick. Let one of the callers on, but I want to talk about the medium of radio. I listened to the game last night on WJRY Grayling Up North Sports, and it was so enjoyable. Right before they snapped the ball, a lot of times I close my eyes and just imagine what the announcer's describing. And I'm going to go up to the library later and put it on the computer full screen and see how those running backs got so wide open for those long runs. I just love the blocking and tackling part of the game. And I also want to touch on your show. You have the best sports show I've heard of in 30 years where you actually talk about on the field. I hate people who talk about storylines. I think they're just faking it. But I really enjoyed following the Wolverines with their own station and with your show. And I just want to say thank you, and I'll let somebody else on. Bye now.
Bob from Waters, listening to, I think, 101.1 FM, 101.1 WGRY up there in the greater Grayling, Lewiston, Mansalona, St. Helena, West Branch, Roscommon, Rose City area. That means the absolute world to me. Bob from Waters. So thank you. I love the fact that you still listen to games on the radio, the theater of the mind. And I think, Bob, what you're going to see with the big runs is, a lot of times what they say when you're handing the ball to a running back, right, hesitation kills, right? Don't hesitate. Make your move and go and have faith in it. And what Michigan's running backs do very well, Khalil Mulling's getting a little bit better this season at it, but it'll come with more reps and more time, right? Donovan Edwards, very good and showcased this. Blake Corum, obviously very good at this. They are so good at being patient and letting blocks develop in front of them. And that's what you'll notice, Bob, when you go back to watch it and you see those big runs. If Washington wasn't getting to the line, if they weren't winning at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage, that's usually where a run play blows up, right? The defense won that snap at the line of scrimmage. Michigan did a really good job, the running backs did, of allowing their blocks to develop downfield. And if you want to know about a team and the culture of the team. I'll point to the Pittsburgh Steelers here as a great example of the inverse of this. You want to know what a team, how they feel about each other and how they play for each other? Watch wide receivers block down the field. That's why I always say, if you want the rock, you got to block, right? I'm not going to throw you the football if you're not willing to do everything that is necessary for this team to win the game. And we talked a little bit about Cornelius Johnson yesterday. And sure, was it some game-breaking performance that he had? It's like, oh, where has this been all year? No, but he's had his moments. And in his spot when his number is called, he typically has come through. Now, there a couple plays that were where he gets a target. The one play that comes to my mind first is the somersault play. He had 3 grabs for 25 yards, needed all 25 of them. Right? Roman Wilson, 3 catches for 54 yards. Colson Loveland, 3 catches for 64 yards. This team ran the football 38 times for 303 yards and passed it for just 10 completions. That's it. J.J. McCarthy was 10 of 18 for $140. That's it. They threw 19 total passes, but he had 10 of 18 for $140. That to me is it's almost preposterous that in today's world you can win a national championship game doing that. And you might be thinking, Alabama, he almost had more completions than he had attempts comparing the two games. Alabama, he was 17 of 27 for 221 and 3 touchdowns. They carried the ball 32 times for $130. They're balanced. And when the numbers are called, if that's the play that we need to go to, do I think they could have thrown it around a little bit more? Yeah. Do I think their offensive play call got a little stagnant there in the second quarter? Yeah. But even Ryan pointed that out yesterday. He's like, they're going to have their moment where they don't do anything on offense because it happens all season long. And, Bob from Waters, man, that really means a lot. And I appreciate there are great storylines in sports that should be covered. But I think where a lot of today's media has gone wrong is they've gotten away from the actual action of what's happening, and they've gone more towards everything around it, right? And I saw some people that were, they were upset about just the way that sports work and why do you have in-game hosts and all this, that, and the third. And it's because of the oversaturation and the corporate takeover of sports. That's why the tickets were, I had a ton of people that I knew that went to that game. A ton. That was not cheap. We were trying to do the math. And if your flight was, if we're going to round down and say you got a $500 ticket and a $1,000 flight, or vice versa, however, you're $1,500 just to get there and get in the ball game. You haven't stayed anywhere. You haven't rented a car. You have not gotten an Uber or a Lyft. If you're not renting a car, you haven't ate. When you start to think about it, you're probably at bare minimum, $2,200 to $2,500 in the hole after a trip like that. Bare minimum. And that's being financially conscious during all of this. I know some people that they were not financially conscious during all of this. So, it's I wish that it was more accessible and more available to some more of the passionate fans. And by the way, I want to give a very special shout to our buddy Liam, who's watching right now. Good morning, Liam. I know that he's very excited. He is very excited right now. My buddy Eric's kid, who watches us in the morning, and he too would definitely benefit from Freddie's Foundation. And I'm excited for Liam this morning, just like I am for all Michigan fans, because there has been so much that this group has gone through. And it's not a woe is me. It's there was a time where I didn't think we'd ever beat Ohio State. I literally thought that. It was very difficult every year to be like, well, maybe we'll win 8 games. Last night didn't even seem real. I don't know if anybody else had this kind of moment, but I definitely did, where last night there were times where I'm like, this is actually, we're actually going to do this. They did it. They went out there and they actually did it. In every single one of the concerns I had week 3 against Bowling Green, I still have in week 15. It almost still doesn't even feel real, but it happened. And it didn't matter. And one thing that I think that is important about this Michigan team, although the run game has been the meat and potatoes, if you will, And the pass game has just kind of been like your sides. You went with the surf and turf. You went a little filet mignon, a little lobster with Blake Corum and the Donovan Edwards, and Khalil Mullings, and anybody else who carried the ball this season. And your accompaniments were your garlic mashed potato and maybe your mac and cheese or some crab cakes and some shrimp or whatever the case may be. That was your menu, right? You were eating good. And that's kind of the dispersion, if you will, of the Michigan offense, where that steak, that filet and lobster tail, that was the main course, and that was the run game. And then you had all these different accompaniments, around that. You had the asparagus, the green bean. You had it all. You had it all going on. The Brussels sprouts, if you like those things. And even though they did everything that a prize fighter would have to do, they know what they're good at, but they can beat you multiple ways. And they can throw punches in bunches. More on this when we return here. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he's a managing shareholder at Dorn Mayhew's Grand Rapids office. Their world headquarters are in Troy, Michigan, on the east side of the state, and they have locations all around the world. They have over 550 motivated accounting professionals, 90 years in business, and I mentioned the 10 offices worldwide. So if you want to connect and partner with one of the top CPA, accounting, and business firms in the world, they're right here in Michigan. Dorn Mayhew's Troy office on the east side of the state, and Josh Garvey is a managing shareholder for their Dorn Mayhew GR office. Right there by the S-curve, you'll see the new Dorn Mayhew sign. You can find out more. Just Google Dorn Mayhew. That's DOERENMAYHEW or Dorn.com. They're one of America's and the world's top CPA, accounting, and business firms. They're Dorn Mayhew.
Save big on fuel with M-Perks. Earn points on your Meijer purchases in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save up to $1 off per gallon of gas at Meijer. Claim your M-Perks fuel rewards in the Meijer app and ID at the pump to save. Plus, earn points for qualifying Meijer Express purchases and look for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more. 10 cents to $1 off per gallon based on points earned. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org. Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll help make the playoffs even more electrifying for you. New customers can bet $5 on any game, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Plus, everyone gets a no-sweat same-game parlay for every playoff game day. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers bet just $5, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Opt-in is required. One no-sweat token issued per eligible day after the opt-in. No-sweat bonus bet issued based on the amount of the losing qualifying bet. Eligibility, max reward limits, and deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Welcome back here to X's and Bros. And look, this is one of the things that is very important. I got a text here that says, I got to tell you, that was the first game I watched in full this year of Michigan. I got to tell you, that defense reminded me of the Harbaugh San Francisco defensive teams. Very, very fast. So then I got to say this then. You know, a lot of times Michigan and Michigan State basketball will play on the same day. And typically, I'm on the move going to whatever work assignment that I have. So if I can't watch the game, I defer to Ryan in order to give the breakdown of what took place in the Spartans game, because I didn't see it. If I didn't see it, I kind of feel like a lot of this goes on where, you know, as someone who watched every single game, I feel like I was pretty honest about my concerns in regards to this team. I thought that I was pretty open about my concerns about this team. I thought that the offensive line did a good job later on in the season, plus losing Zach Zinter in that Ohio State game to the broken leg. That was just awful. Felt terrible for him. You knew it was bad when the aircast came out. How was that going to affect this team? And this team just continued to answer the bell. Just continued to do it. And I think that when you are going to, if you're going to, how do I say this properly? If you're going to have an opinion on it, you at least got to watch it. You at least got to see it. And I know that there is a certain portion of the state that gets bothered by the quote-unquote Michigan fan. That's fine. We're all going to be bothered by some. You know, I thought that, you know, some of Justin Rose's commentary about, hey, look, man, we all know a Michigan fan, and let them have their day. I mean, we were going to have our day regardless. We were. You know, if Michigan would have lost, we've been there before. We've been there the last two college football playoffs. And this did feel like a team of destiny. And you can have your commentary about the Stallions case and whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is, this is the first Big Ten team to win 15 or more games in a season since the University of Chicago did it in 1899. This is the first time in 120 years that a team has allowed less than 25 points every single game. Every single game. Like, this is a team that allowed 10.4 points per game against this season, which is the fewest by a Big Ten team since Michigan in 1997. They gave up 9.5 points a game. Both of those teams won the national championship. And I get, you know, a lot of, like, you know, people want to make the jokes about the split and all that. Doesn't matter. Still a national championship. Still is. And now to have multiple national championships in the sport of football in the common era, to do it in the poll, the voters era, and then to do it in the playoff era. You know, you want to combine the 89 team with their basketball championship. How many schools have both a football and a basketball national championship in the last 40 years? Florida comes to mind, but I think did Ohio State win a national championship in basketball? They got close. Did they lose to Florida? I don't remember. It would have been like 05, 06, somewhere in that range. But like it's such rare air right now that this university is in. And there's no talk of anything that is going to be able to bring down the Michigan fan right now. It doesn't matter if you want to talk about losing to Penn State at the Palestra for basketball. Nothing else matters. Like, we gravitated to different things when things weren't going well. And that's typically, human nature. If something's going really well in your life, you probably want to stay on track and gravitate more towards that instead of thinking about things that haven't gone well. That would just be, what I feel is like solid life advice, right? And the Michigan fan gravitated towards basketball when football took a step back. And football, it hasn't been easy. There was a lot of hype when Jim Harbaugh was hired. And to survive 2020, to make it through there, go through all of the staff changes that you went through, to get a different set of individuals in-house that were going to run this team the way that they wanted to do it, built upon the two most fundamental parts of the game of football that I know in the fantasy football era, everybody looks to the glitz and the glam, right? I'm not going to drive a Ferrari to a construction work site. And what Michigan had to do was start building, and they needed to build from the ground up. So they're going to grab an F-150 and drive to the site to build your new structure, right? You didn't need the Ferrari, didn't need the glitz and the glam, didn't need the 5-star high-flying wide receiver, didn't need it. What we needed to do was to get back to something that Michigan has prided themselves on since the beginning of time, and that is being able to win the line of scrimmage, be strong at the point of attack, and be able to run the football. In the two most fundamental parts of the game, blocking and tackling, that are so often overlooked by everybody because it's like, wow, look at that one-hand grab. Look at that catch. Doesn't matter. Sure, it looks cool, and it might work out. But if you can't block and you can't tackle, you're not going to win. And I kept hearing this, and I heard this a lot about Washington as well, which I was actually really happy to hear about Washington. And Kalen DeBoer said it after the game. He talked about the guys in that locker room and how proud he was, and not a lot of ego. Everyone bought in, and you keep hearing teams making it to the pinnacle, and a lot of the coaches have a lot of the same things to say, which is really refreshing in this constant era of me, now of life that we are in, that we find ourselves in, this crossroads of almost a death of tradition and the old way of life. And I'm not trying to be old man yells at cloud, but there are some generations that came before us that had it right, where an emphasis was put on hard work, where what you did, what your skill was honored and thought highly of. And in today's society of the internet, where people are just flapping their arms around in front of the camera, and that's considered success, it's just preposterous to me. Where people will go and do things that they didn't earn the right to go and do. You did not do anything. You're just along for the ride. Or you have a popular Instagram account, or you're a YouTube star. Like, there's no skill there. And that's what we're losing. And some of that old way of thought about, taking pride in putting your pants on the same way as everybody else, in taking pride in going to your job, in doing it the best of your ability, in taking pride in coming home to the house that you have, in the family that you have, no matter where that's at, wherever you call home, where all of this is taken for granted all the time because we're constantly flooded with the internet showing, like, we're not all going to Dubai. It's not going to happen. We're not all going to be 1,500-yard running backs. We're not all going to win national championships and Heisman Awards. And I know that the graphics look cool when they put them out. And I know that you want your 6-star rating, your 5-star rating, and your crystal ball. You want on signing day where you get the bag out with the 17 hats and there's a dog and all of a sudden a cockatoo flew in to announce. I get that. We all want that limelight at some point. But at some point, that light is going to fade. And what your skill set is, what your belief is, what your motivation is, what your work ethic is, that is what is going to speak for you. That is how I feel that you should want to be known. Not like something was handed to you, not like it was given to you, but that you earned the right to be there. And you did so in a way that it didn't matter who got the credit, as long as we got there. You know, for so long, especially in this industry that can be so isolating, right? Working independent for all these years, just to be on a team is all I've personally wanted. To be on a team where people just do, like, everybody's working towards a common goal. And when you can do that, and no one cares who gets the credit, the sky's the limit. And I'm listening to Kalen DeBoer talk about his Washington Huskies after the game. And I know this because I listen to enough Michigan stuff and watch enough Michigan that I understand. Donovan Edwards grabbed the phone. They'll do this thing where they pass around the phone and the players get to, like, record a little message, and then the team puts it out. Here's what Donovan Edwards said after the game last night.
Let's go, Michigan fans. We did this for y'all. What a blessing it is to be able to receive such an amazing accolation that we did today. I'm blessed, man. It's a blessing for all of us to be out here to win a national championship, for the fans, for the alumni, for the program, for the university. All I got to say is God bless and go Blue.
There's a kid, a young man, that had so much when Blake Corum got hurt and was relied upon so heavily last year. And then this year, we just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, yo, when is it going to pop? Like, what's going on with Donovan Edwards? And he talked about it at his press conference leading up to the game. About, I go see a therapist. And life is about the ups and downs and how you handle it and talking through it. And he's like, I'm in such a good place right now, and I've had my ups and downs, and I'm prepared for it. And everything happens for a reason. He goes through, what that must be like for a young man to be in that driver's seat and to be the guy. And then when the other guy comes back, you got to take a step back. And then you're getting your opportunities, you're getting your touches, and it's not working. So now they're going to another guy because it's like, yo, what's going on with you? And you're like, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm trying. Why isn't this happening? And then you start to press a little bit. You start to force it. We see a lot of this in basketball. Because in football, with so many people out there on the field, like, dude, you might get 4 touches in a game. You might get 40. Who knows, right? It all depends on what's working at that individual moment. But we see a ton of this in basketball because the actual individual's imprint on the game is exponentially larger because there's only 5 guys on the floor for your team at any given time. And guys might get in a little bit of a shooting slump, and then they start to press, and they can't find it. You get the yips in golf. It's the same principle here. Field goal kickers get this all the time. That's a very independent, very individual element of the game of football, right? The kicking game. And so you have a young man in Donovan Edwards that maybe at different times tried to press and get a little bit outside of his realm, just like a basketball player would. Like, instead of, just working through the offense and taking your opportunities, moving the ball, moving without the ball. Here's a back cut, easy layup. Let's get to the bucket. Let's get to the free throw line, and let's get our shot down, and let's feel good about something. Now we're trying to play iso ball, right? We're trying to win one-on-one matchups. We're trying to take everybody off the dribble. We're not passing as much. We're using one screen up top and chucking from deep. Like, all of these things happen in hoops a lot more often than football. And in football, Donovan Edwards might have gotten a little bit of a case of the yips where he started to not believe in his own ability. And I was so happy for him when his number got called. He gets the ball. He makes that jump cut left and boom, gone. And you could just tell. You could just tell. And how happy he is after the game. Like, it's been a long year for him. It's been a long year for him. And it is a testament to sticking with it. Now that, those Fansville commercials for Dr. Pepper are hilarious. Like, the transfer portal's out of control. We're losing our defense. And the kids getting sucked into the portal. If you guys saw that last night. Like, that's a great commercial because right now it's me, and I need it now. But that's not the way it works. You're never going to get the results without putting in the work first. The only place I comes before success is in the dictionary. And the only time that success comes before winning is in the dictionary. That's it. Like, you have to be able to understand that we have to be great together. We have to put our common goal out there. And I didn't know that about Washington. And I don't think it's just coach speak from DeBoer, because they had some guys that could have left early that decided to come back. And I love that for the sport of college football. And I don't need Michigan football to be anything other than what it is supposed to be, because that game last night and that game against Alabama proved you can still win a national championship. You could still reach the pinnacle. You could still accomplish all of your goals by breaking it down to the fundamentals of the game of football. Block and tackle. And if we do this together, that defense was flying around. Like, yeah, sure, there were some one-on-one matchups where guys had to win a battle and make an open field tackle. Yes. But you start getting 2, 3, 4 guys running to the football. Like, that means something. When you get D linemen at any level, that the ball is now, as they're rushing the quarterback, the ball is now behind them. And although that ball might be 7, 8, 9, 10 yards behind them, the defensive lineman is now near the first down marker in on the tackle. Whether he's a late arrival or he's the second guy there, that's all heart. That's all hustle. That's all we have to do this. Not I'm tired. Not, I didn't make the play. Somebody else will do it. Like, I got to be there. Like, it's a completely different mindset. And for Michigan and Washington, for both of their coaches to talk about it that way, that's what was so, Dallas Turner, I believe his name is, from Alabama. That's what was so shocking and why I'd love to talk to Nick Saban about what happened after the Rose Bowl, where he was like, I'm out. This ain't it. I'm done. Like, excuse me? Like, if you want to elect to go to the NFL draft, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, go ahead. Go make your money. I'm not worried about that. You want to come back? That's cool, too. Great for you. It's risky, but that's a cool move. But right after the game, I'm out. I'm done. Like, what kind of attitude is that? That's why you lost. I can tell you that much right now. Step aside. We'll be back. Hour 3. X's and Bros. Michigan wins a national championship. We're continuing on. Hail to the victors, baby, on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my friends from Coppercraft Distillery. Now, they're a Michigan-based company, and they have a message for anybody 21 and up. You're going to want to get hooked up with this Honolulu Blue, a premium can cocktail. Vodka, blue raspberry lemonade. This special limited edition canned cocktail is available at local stores, pubs, and restaurants. And when you're cheering on our favorite pro football team, TDs, tailgates, and more, make sure you grab a Honolulu Blue from Coppercraft Distillery.
Tracy, over to you for weather.
The sun must be shining, Dave, because the 7 for 7 sale is back at Meijer. Mix or match hundreds of items like Dan and Greek yogurt, Meijer frozen steamable vegetables, and Kraft macaroni and cheese. Pick any 7 for just $7. There's a strong chance of saving with the same quality Meijer deals in-store or online. Back to you, Dave.
Sounds great, Tracy.
Deals so good, you've just got to talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar or additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
Merc Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merc Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cash back rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merc Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merc is here. Learn more at mymercperks.com, member FDIC.
It's as easy as 1, 3... Wait, that's not how it goes. It's 1, 2, 3, like this. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants you to remember, always wear your seatbelt. Make it part of your routine. Just like that. Got it? Seatbelts save lives, and using them is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Coming up later today at 3 on the Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Max is now on YouTube Primetime. Enjoy award-winning series, movies, and HBO originals. Get more of your favorites with AMC Plus, Paramount Plus, and more. Subscribe to Max and other channels on YouTube Primetime.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Smarty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown to Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome back here, X's and Bros. Hour number 3 here on the Michigan Sports Network, a celebration of a 2024 national championship and an undefeated 2023 season for the Michigan Wolverines. Text the keyword sports radio, send that to 21,000. Sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843, 866-838-HUGE. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. XBMornings at gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. Ben Glaze is at The Ben Glaze, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. All right, real quick, let's get to it. We haven't done it yet today. We'll get you all caught up with all the happenings around the world of sports. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news. I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news. Aaron Rodgers said the Jets need to flush the BS to win in 2024. Apparently, Jimmy Kimmel went off on Aaron Rodgers. It's like a 7-minute video. I can't keep up with it. I don't really care. I think those two should do if they got problems. Get in a ring and box it out. Enough of this name calling. You guys get in there, put on some 12-ounce gloves. You guys will figure it out. And then we can just be done with it. How about that? Dolphins linebackers Andrew Van Ginkel and Jerome Baker both out for the postseason. Remember, they have the AFC wild card on Saturday against the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, no. Oh, no, not the Finns. Not all that offense for nothing. Joe Burrow wants T. Higgins back, said, quote, what being a Bengal is all about. How about Joe Burrow taking off the quarterback hat and putting on the recruiter hat? I like that. Jaguars have fired the defensive coordinator, Mike Caldwell, and assistants. Like they are cleaning house on the defensive side of the ball. The defensive line coach, passing game coordinator, and cornerbacks coach is out. Inside linebackers coach, safeties coach, defensive assistants, quality control. I mean, at the end of the day, players make plays. So I get it, but they are going to need more on the defensive side of the football. And the Jaguars, after the great start that they had, what on earth happened there? A couple of injury notes here in the NBA. The Grizzlies' Ja Morant is going to have season-ending shoulder surgery. That came out. Did I say surgery? Surgery is what I was trying to say. A subluxation. Oh, man, medical terms. His right shoulder is messed up, and it hurt during a training session on Saturday, causing him to miss Sunday's win over the Suns. He underwent an MRI that revealed an underlying labral tear and will require surgery to repair. Expected to be fully recovered and may be ready for 24-25. Another guaranteed contract, good for them. Pacers' Tyrese Halliburton, this is bad. He's going to have an MRI after he strained his hamstring. He left last night's 133-131 win over the Boston Celtics in the second quarter. He was driving to the bucket, lost his footing, foot slid, and then went down and grabbed his hammy. That wasn't good. The Warriors' Draymond Green said that the NBA commissioner talked him out of retirement. I mean, gag me with a spatula. This guy. So you can't run around punching people and slapping people, choking people, and kicking people in the nuts, and now you want to retire? Come on, man. Come on. And I get it. He went in a big fluff piece about how Adam Silver, that's the commissioner I want to play for, someone who cares about us. And I told him I'm going to retire. And he said, no, you're not. Oh, my God. Yeah, jeez. Get over it, man. How about this? Just play basketball. Just do that. If you just go out there and play what you're paid to play, you're going to be just fine. Maybe, and I know that we have taken some calls and some people have had some comments about the Harbaugh podcast. Sometimes less is more. Really, honestly. Like maybe the podcast was like, yeah, we got good momentum here, but, things haven't been working out the way we want them to. We're just going to stop this. Sometimes less is more. Do more, say less. Flyers have traded Cutter Gauthier to the Ducks for Jamie Drysdale and a pick. So this guy, Cutter, who helped the U.S. win the World Junior Championships, was traded Monday from the Flyers to the Ducks. And the Flyers had selected Gauthier at the 5th pick in the 2022 NHL Draft with the expectation that he would be a part of their future once he left BC, where he was a sophomore. But then the 19-year-old scored a couple of goals and had 12 points over 7 games as the U.S. won its 6th gold medal at the IIHF World Juniors. And it's pretty crazy. He finished tied with the Buffalo Sabres prospect, the Czechia center, Yuri Kulich, for the most points in the tournament, and then apparently didn't want to be a Flyer and said he's not going to Philadelphia. And so Philly had to trade him. This is kind of a strange story. Georgia has opened up as the betting favorite to win the 2025 college football playoff. We always do this the next day. 17-4 odds right now on Georgia, 6-1 on Bama, 8-1 on Ohio State, 9-1 on both Michigan and Texas, with Oregon and Ole Miss there at 12 and 14-1 odds, respectively. Georgia opening up as the favorite. Not really a problem there. All right, let's get to some more text messages as we can tell we're celebrating Michigan's victory in the national championship game. It's awesome. Everybody's having a great time. I'm having a great time. You're having a great time. We're all having a great time. How about some pride from Michigan staff to understand that they didn't need to cheat, yet they resorted to get over the hump and teaching the kids to brag that they cheated. It doesn't matter as long as it happens. We're better scouts. We're better scouts. We're better at scouting. We're better at scouting. How about the laziness of other staffs to not change any signals? How about that? How about that? Does that make you feel better, though? You got to say cheaters? You're going to go on the internet and be like, yeah, cheating. Yeah. Is that what you're going to do? Go ahead. Pump this up right in your ear hole. We're better scouts. Reconnaissance, look it up. Watch how the U.S. military uses reconnaissance out on the battlefield. Visit Marines.com. Connor Stallions, Marine. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. You sound like Greg Doyle from the Indy Star. He won't respond to any of my tweets. I gave him the phone number. What else do you want? I gave you the phone number to call. Call the number. Let's talk about it. He's all on the, oh, you're a bunch of cheaters. Yeah, cheaters. That's what blew Washington off the ball. That's what blew Alabama's O-line backwards every single play. That's why their center can't snap the football. Because of Connor Stallions. Okay. Yes, blocking and tackling. Thank you. In the end, it all came down to those two things in this game. At least a dozen tackles in the open field last night. Then to line up, just bludgeon their defense with our road graders up front. Our depth of rotation made Michigan look fresher and faster in the end. No special teams mistakes. Complete team win. Who's got it better than us? Nobody! That came from Homer in PA. Homer, did I get the who's got it better than us? Did I do that right? Is that how you meant to text that? That's what I felt. When I read it, that's what I was feeling, so that's what I went with. Anthony, this was clearly a team of destiny. When it became apparent is when they beat Penn State. Really? Yeah, no, I'm down with that. I think Penn State was also a very good tell that this was the team of destiny. I can agree and get down with that 125%. We still had to go through some emotional roller coasters for the remainder of the season, but oh, so worth it. 41-17 predictions. We were close. We were close. Go Blue, baby. Back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go on the court with Tim Stout.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, it's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. No easy week ahead for Michigan State's men's basketball team. A game at Illinois on Thursday night. And after being ranked number 4 in the Associated Press preseason poll, it obviously has been a struggle to this point through nearly half the regular season. 15 games down, 16 to go, a 9-6 record, albeit somewhat surprising maybe on Sunday night with a 14-point loss at Northwestern, coming on the heels of a 5-game winning streak. Now, the Spartans have now lost 3 straight to Northwestern and 4 of the last 5. How do you figure that? So if Michigan State loses at Illinois, the Spartans would be 1-4 in the Big Ten, a record Tom Izzo has never held with the Spartans.
Welcome to the Drew World Order. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino. There's a party on this hill. Same show, the soulful bad boy of R&B, Genuine. Ride the pony for a 2-stepping good time. Tickets start at $45 and are on sale now at the box office or online at etix.com. Genuine. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino.
Welcome back here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan. You know, golf season is, well, it's not golf season right now because it's January in the Great Lakes State. However, 2024 is right around the corner, which means it's never too early to start thinking about your trip. And what you should do is make Tullymore an annual. Why? Because located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, an hour north of Grand Rapids and 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant, it's easy to get to no matter what direction you're coming from. And the best part about it all is because it's so close, you can get in and out in a weekend. You can do a stay and play on a Monday and Tuesday. Wife's probably going to let you get away with that one. Yep. TullymoreGolf.com. TullymoreGolf.com. You can play Tullymore and St. Ives. You can stay right there. They got the free shuttle, take you back and forth between both courses. What you need to do, get it on the calendar. Everybody knows what's on the calendar. That's it. It's got to happen. Call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. What a fun day. What a fun day here. You know, I'm having a great time. I hope you're having a great time. And I know that we're going to get some of the commentary. Like, I realize that. I'm aware of it. It's not, you know, I don't know necessarily how to really put it in words when you have guys like Deion Sanders who actually played not only at the collegiate level but at the professional level that came out and said, like, yeah, it's great and all, but you still have to block, you still have to tackle. And then they literally proved to you in the two biggest games of the year that they can block and they can tackle, and you still want to say whatever you want. I don't really care, to be honest with you. Nick says, to the point now where I don't care if they did cheat. These insufferable clowns from Ohio and MS Who have whined so much that I hope it's all true and everyone knew and they get away scot-free. I mean, their coach served 6 games worth of suspensions this year. Like, when has that ever happened? Does it look weird? Yeah. Yeah, it does. Looks very strange. I'll be the first to admit it. I got no problem with that at all. Dougie Fresh said, Michigan is on top. Will Harbaugh go back to the NFL? Why stay? Some thoughts. A repeat? 3 Big Ten trophies in a row. If you have more, does that equal a dynasty? Hasn't had a Heisman quarterback yet? What else? I don't really, look. The Heisman is the Heisman. It doesn't matter. You think Caleb Williams from USC would trade his Heisman? You think Jaden Daniels would trade his Heisman for the opportunity to win a national championship? I think both would. Well, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I don't know either of these guys, to be honest with you. I know that Bryce Underwood chose LSU, a quarterback out of Belleville here in Michigan, number 1 quarterback in his class, chose to go to LSU. Like, that's fine. And look, like, sometimes staying home doesn't work for everybody. I get that. Like, that's fine by me. You know, if you want to go out of state and go far away. That's totally fine. I don't know what his day-to-day looks like. It's not an indictment because, like I just said, I don't know what his day-to-day looks like. Maybe he just likes the campus better. Maybe he wants to play in warm weather. I have no idea. But I don't think that the Heisman Trophy, like, cool trophy and all, it works out really well. I would take a national championship. You know, and that goes back to what I was talking about there at the end of hour number 2. You know, we before me. What do we need to do to accomplish our goals collectively together? And then we can worry about, you know, our individual accolades, how many touches we get, how many carries we get, how many targets do we get. You know, at that point, that's kind of where it all, the buck stops there. As for this other guy, like, you're going to have to find Br0's, find somebody else to talk to about this. All I said was that Michigan gave Michael Penix hell tonight. And then he goes on to say that Michael Penix isn't a first-round pick. Okay. So I just said, you know, Google it and read for yourself. Why would I read words from the same people who said these guys were first-rounders? Zach Wilson, Kenny Pickett, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, they were all first-rounders in the last couple of years. Like, Br0's 97. If you have the eye for talent, go write about it and make money off of it. And if not, pipe down. Michigan held every single opponent under 25 points this season, Chief. That's what I said. Which one of those guys is good? That's the point, man. It doesn't matter if Michael Penix goes first round or not. Michael Penix could be better than all of those quarterbacks. And if he doesn't get drafted in the first round, is he still better than all of those quarterbacks? We'll wait and see. Like, stop acting like Michigan beat an all-timer of a quarterback. Okay, they just beat every school that you're a fan of. Now, how about that? How about that? How about whatever team you like, they're better than. They block better. They tackle better. They run the football better. They're just better than you. Jim Harbaugh is better than you. He's more successful than you. He makes more money than you. He has a better job than you. How about that? Then we can just all shut up. Like, the original tweet was about the defense got after Michael Penix. It has nothing to do with Michael Penix. He's a fine college football player. He's played for a lot of years. A lot of years. Your team got a natty, be happy with it. I am happy, Mr. Roos. I'm very happy with it. I just don't understand why you feel the need to tweet at me about it. That's it. That's purely it. I feel great. I feel great about it. What a great day to be a Michigan Wolverine. And for the success that this team has had all year long. And, making it through all the controversy. The most overblown controversy in the history of the sport. Maybe in the history of sports, period. But, it doesn't matter to me what Greg Pollack says or what Paul Feinbaum says. Can't wait to hear from Paul. He's going to be shook. Great to see two Big Ten teams. Sounds weird, but true. Starting in 2024, Washington, welcome to the Big Ten. Lincoln Riley, I don't think whatever's floating around the internet, Lincoln Riley talking about dog walking the conference, I don't think that's real. I think that's just internet hullabaloo. Dan Lanning on the broadcast last night, Oregon's head coach. That's kind of cool. Yeah, he looked a little uncomfortable, a little bit. But, outside of that, I thought he did a great job. And, we'll get used to him. And UCLA is just kind of there. They're just kind of hanging around. You know what I mean? But that was great. It was great to see two Big Ten teams. And we're going after the SEC, and Paul Feinbaum's head is going to spontaneously combust today. Where's Pistol Pete Thamel? I'm also waiting for that. I am waiting for that. And look, everything is going to be taken out of context. I know that Jim Harbaugh said after the game, talking about, the team was innocent. We were overcoming the off-field issues, knowing that, quote, we were innocent. I know that people are going to have a field day with that. That's fine. Talk about whatever angle you want to talk about. You can talk about it. You have the right to do so. We have that freedom here in America. So go ahead. Be mad. Be as mad as you want to be. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to fix anything. You're not doing anything but working yourself up. You might as well focus all that energy and attention. Put that into your kids today. Instead of staying on Twitter and getting angry, put it into your girlfriend or your wife or your kids. Like, put all that energy somewhere useful that you can have a positive impact on today. And just stay off the internet. You could think they cheated. That's fine. That's fine. Because I, too, was at the Rose Bowl with a clear shot of Alabama sidelines and an iPhone in my pocket. I was ready. I was ready to do whatever was asked of me for the team. For the team. But today is about the ability to line up and play old school football. In the era of the transfer portal, in the era of no huddle shotgun offenses, in the era of, people posting pictures with Ferraris and Mercedes-Benz on the football field, this was a gritty team. This was, I'm going to stick my hand in the ground and I'm going to beat you man to man. This was linebackers eating with their hands, not with forks and knives. This was a football team that put in all the work, that felt the disappointment, that had guys come back to do something great. And hey,
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine.
back with more X's and Bros after this on the Michigan Sports Network.
Publisher of the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com. at MHSAA on Twitter and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Save big on fuel with M-Perks. Earn points on your Meijer purchases in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save up to $1 off per gallon of gas at Meijer. Claim your M-Perks fuel rewards in the Meijer app and ID at the pump to save. Plus, earn points for qualifying Meijer Express purchases and look for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more. 10 cents to $1 off per gallon based on points earned. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org. Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Miss any of today's show? Find our podcast and listen on demand on Google, Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcast. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino, here on the Michigan Sports Network.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll help make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Plus, everyone gets a no-sweat same-game parlay for every playoff game day. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers bet $5, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's right. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Opt-in is required. One no-sweat token issued per eligible day after the opt-in. No-sweat bonus bets issued based on the amount of the losing qualifying bet. Eligibility, max rewards, limits, and deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. That's Ben Glaze and Ryan Elke. I am Anthony Bellino. And Ben, do we have Tim on the line here?
That we do.
All right, Tim Murray joining us from VSIN, the Vegas Sports and Information Network. You can find him on Twitter at @1TimMurray. Tim Murray, welcome to the program. Rise and shine to you, my friend. Are you really in Las Vegas right now?
I am not. I am in Henderson, Nevada, which is actually a suburb of Vegas. But yes, I am in Las Vegas, but not as sexy as maybe you would think. As I'm just in the suburbs in my house.
Okay, all right. Either way, in the suburbs, in your house, on the outskirts of Las Vegas, it is still very early in the morning. So thank you for waking up with us today. Tim, I saw that you were patrolling the sidelines, taking care of Bowl Season Radio and covering the bowl games there on Sirius XM as well. Watching the national championship last night, what stood out to you the most about Michigan in their 34-13 victory over number 2 ranked Washington?
Yeah, I think it was, there's a lot to get to, but I think the physicality up front from the defense and, watching this Washington team and the way that they were successful all season long and specifically in the semifinal, especially Michael Penix and his elusiveness in the backfield, just how quick he was of getting the ball out of his fingertips. The fact that Michigan was able to confuse him enough with the way that they brought the pressure and then the sure-handed tackling too. The fact that they'd get a ball complete short under the sticks, and there Michigan was to make the tackle. So Jesse Minter I thought did a really really impressive job, and also it led to Michael Penix making I felt like a couple mistakes last night, being a little bit off where he was near flawless against Texas. So I really you got to tip your cap to Michigan. The defense, the pressure, all of that. And then, on the offensive side of the ball, once again, just what Michigan's known for, able to run the ball and really take the game away from their opponent. I thought, for a moment there in the second quarter, maybe into the third quarter as well, I thought Michigan got a little too cute, started to pass a little too much, and that's where you saw Michigan get back into the game. And I'm sure a lot of Michigan fans and folks listening right now are getting a little bit nervous just because I felt like Michigan was getting away from what gave them that early, big lead. But all in all, the physicality from this Michigan team that we'd seen all year brought out once again last night, which led them to their first national championship since '97.
And Tim, for Michigan fans that have been watching this offense all year long, right? We obviously, and anybody that's watched, on a national scale, but especially for us here, we know that we can run the ball. And you hit the nail on the head. It's like it was almost like from a play calling standpoint, it's like, yeah, we can run the ball at will. Let's just try to sling it around a little bit and see what happens. And it's like, okay, hold your horses now, because we go through these dry spells offensively where it's like we don't really do anything for like a solid 3 or 4 possessions or like an entire quarter. It always happens. It's like every game it happens. And it's really frustrating. Sweaty palms time is what we like to call it, because things were getting a little hairy there at halftime. Offense had kind of stalled. Washington scores. They're getting the football back, there to begin the second half. And at that point, it's like, okay, if they score here, we might be in some trouble. You mentioned the pressure on Michael Penix. I mean, he throws that interception when his ankle gets stepped on, and that had to have hurt. But he just looked off all day. I mean, he missed some throws out there. I feel like he cost himself some money.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that certainly is possible. I'll be honest, we talk about it a lot on VSIN because I love betting the NFL draft, and, folks are very reactionary, so we saw him, play a perfect game, against Texas, and people thought, okay, he's going to be a top 10 pick. I'm like, well, he has 2 torn ACLs, and he's 25 years old, so he's probably not going to be a top 10 pick, but there's a chance he could be a first-round pick. There's a lot of quarterback-needy teams. So we'll see. For Michael Penix, he gets to go to the Senior Bowl, and he will go to, the Combine and do all the workouts and whatnot. I never thought he would be one of the top 3 quarterbacks drafted. It seems like that's pretty much locked in stone with Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels from LSU. But, no, I mean, you mentioned going back to the offensive play calling. And once again, this brings me back to the performance of the defense, which, all week long leading up to this game on VSIN when we talked about it, and what ultimately led me to picking Michigan to win this game was, look, Washington has been phenomenal offensively, probably the best offense Michigan has seen all year, but Washington has not seen a defense like what they're going to see and like what they did see against Houston in Houston last night. So, you just got to give a ton of credit to the Michigan defense because every time, the Michigan offense stalled out, they were there to make a big stop. And as folks were listening from the fandom perspective, I was from the betting perspective because I was on Michigan last night thinking, man, what are they doing? Put these guys away. And they couldn't do it until ultimately, obviously, they did in that fourth quarter. But that was the defense again. I mean, the defense continued to make big plays, and I do credit the pressure and, continuing to get to Michael Penix for some of his errant throws that, he probably makes last week against Texas.
Were you surprised, Tim Murray, that this line, at 4.5, Michigan being the favorite, and because, I'm an employee of Michigan, every time I say anything positive about Michigan, it's like, oh, you're a homer, you're a slap, you're on the payroll. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, the last part's true, but I try to be honest about it. I had it 42-17. Like, I thought that after Michigan beat Alabama, that's the game I was nervous about, right? And the way that they handled Alabama's offensive line and sacked Jalen Milroe 5 times, I'm like, yeah, Michael Penix doesn't stand a chance because we got guys that can cover too. They just don't ever get talked about. So I felt really confident about it. 4.5 is one of those weird lines, right? It's kind of in the middle there, and nobody really feels too good about it. Were you surprised that it was at 4.5? Do you think that it should have been more?
I don't know if it should have been more, but, it's interesting because from your perspective, you thought it should have been more, right? But, I did a lot of radio hits throughout the week, and people asked, and it's, it's not a, for people who maybe don't know just the betting market a ton, they asked if it was disrespectful. I'm like, look, odds makers don't care about anybody's feelings. They put out the number that they think is true, and then the market will tell you what it is, right? The market. The people who move the market, I don't move the market. Your average bettor does not move the market. Your sharp bettors move the market. And look, sharp bettors are wrong 47% of the time, right? I mean, it is not a perfect science, but I always think it's telling when you look at a point spread like we saw last night, which ultimately closed around 5.5, that there were so many people out there believing, oh, Washington's getting disrespected. They're an underdog again. This is the third straight game they were an underdog, and they've, covered and won the previous 2. And Kalen DeVore's 5-0 straight up as an underdog. And I said, look, if the number's wrong, they'll bet it one way or the other. And I'll give you an example. Against Texas, they did close a underdog, but the betting market moved that number down to 3.5 before the kick. And this game, it went back up to 5.5. So it kind of was telling to me that, hey, Michigan is the right side because this number is not coming down. It's actually moving a little bit towards Michigan's favor. And I talked to as many odds makers as I could talk to here in Vegas last night, just via text and saying, hey, who do you guys need tonight? Because, look, I don't blindly just take the side the house needs, but more often than not, just a little trick of the trade. If the house needs a side, usually bet that side because the house wins more often than not, right? So a lot of people, it wasn't an overwhelming need. There was still Michigan support, but there were a lot of places that were, 60-40, Washington bets. It was being bet similar to a Super Bowl where you saw a short underdog, and people who haven't bet a ton of college football looked at a plus 170, a plus 180 money line on Washington and said, ooh, that's pretty tasty. Let me go grab that. So those quickly added up. So ultimately, most of the books that I talked to were very pleased with the outcome, having Michigan win this game. And, more often than not, if you're on the side of the house, you're usually a pretty happy camper yourself.
Tim Murray joining us right now from VSIN. You can catch VSIN live from 6 to 9. He had our friend John Jansen on your program before the season even started, right? And a lot of those predictions started to ring true. And I feel good for John because he was a part of that 97 club, and I feel good for a lot of the alumni and for those that survived sort of that dark era, post-Lloyd Carr, pre-Jim Harbaugh, and even, the first few years of Jim Harbaugh's tenure, things were not looking great. As we now look forward to, they always come out with next year's odds immediately after the game, and Georgia right now is the favorite to win the Natty in 2024. Would you caution folks right now to maybe stay away from placing a wager on Michigan until we know who's all going to be back? Because, the season's over. The rumor mill happens all year long. Where's Jim Harbaugh going to coach next year? Who are they going to lose? Will J.J. McCarthy enter the draft? Would caution be the word that you would use to throw out to Michigan fans right now who might want to throw a little down on it?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair way to put it. And, remember, too, right, we're walking into a new era of the playoff, right, where you've got to win at minimum 3 games and maybe even 4 games to win a national championship. So it's going to be very different next year in regards to making this run to the championship. And, from a futures perspective, you might be able to get a better number than what we expect, saw last year. But yeah, for Michigan, I do think caution is the right word, because a lot of these pieces, Jim Harbaugh was talking about it, earlier in the year, right? When Bruce Feldman put out that article talking about players on Michigan will likely go pro, and Jim Harbaugh mentioning that, hey, he thinks that this could break the record for most draft picks on one roster. So, every team that needs a head coach in the NFL seems to have some level of interest for Jim Harbaugh. The team here in my backyard, the Las Vegas Raiders, absolutely are going to be interested in Jim Harbaugh. The Los Angeles Chargers, Washington Commanders. I think there's going to be a lot of teams poking around. Not to say that he's definitely going to go. And I know a lot of people, especially Michigan fans, were pointing to the fact that Jim Harbaugh last night on ESPN was talking about, hey, we got spring practice. We're going to move it back a little bit. So, look, I totally understand why Michigan fans don't want to let Jim Harbaugh go. It makes a ton of sense. You guys just won a national championship for the first time in, almost 3 decades. So, yeah, see how this whole offseason plays out. See where J.J. McCarthy's going to go. Is he going to stay? Is he going to come back? A lot of these pieces, are they going to come back? But, I'm looking at the odds right now at one particular shop, DraftKings, and they have the fifth shortest odds at 10-1. The national championship, folks, isn't going to happen for over a year, right? The next year's national championship, I think, is in, late January. So I wouldn't race to tie up your money for over a year when there's still there's plenty of uncertainty surrounding this Michigan football program heading into 2024.
Hey, speaking of your Raiders real quick, just because you're out there, right? Why not Las Vegas Raiders, formerly of Oakland? There's no way they're not going to hire their interim guy, right? That one should be off the books, right? Oh, come on. So at least give me some good news and take one team out of the mix here, please, for the love.
I can't say no way because, Antonio Pierce, I know that the players want him to be the head coach, but I definitely think they're gonna poke around. I think there's no doubt. And I think if Jim Harbaugh wants to come to Las Vegas, I think there will be plenty of mutual interest. So, look, you got a hot commodity there in a head coach, and that's the trade that you make when you win a championship. During the COVID season, not many NFL teams were coming knocking around Jim Harbaugh's door, right? But now that this championship has come through, and And you got to think of it this way, and not to be the bearer of bad news. And who knows? I mean, look, Jim Harbaugh can ultimately he could have went out and got the new agent just to renegotiate a new great lifetime deal with Michigan. I have no idea. I have no inside sources on that. But you think around to who are the hot commodities in the NFL this year for head coaching positions, and Ben Johnson is number one on many people's lists. Another guy with obviously Michigan ties there in the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. And then after that, who is it? So there's 5 openings right now. There could be more with New England and Tennessee potentially. But there's no doubt Jim Harbaugh is going to be a wanted man. Not to say that he's always going to take it. There might not be a spot that he loves, but he's definitely going to be a wanted person here in the next couple of weeks here for the NFL.
He is Tim Murray. You can find him on Twitter at @1TimMurray. Find his show, VSIN Live, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tim, my friend, thanks so much for waking up with us this morning, partner. We greatly appreciate it. And as we say to everybody, go Blue.
Yeah, congratulations to all the Michigan fans out there. And as a Notre Dame fan, it pains me to say that, but I did win a fair share of money on your Wolverines last night. So I was very happy to.
Hey, look at us. We got a little Notre Dame contingent around here as well. They're few and far between, but we try to take care of the Fighting Irish the best we can. Thank you, Tim.
All right, have a good morning. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. There he goes, Tim Murray. Find him on Twitter at @1, by the way, Tim Murray. A celebration of Michigan's national championship. And you know what? A little bit there, too, from the Harbaugh perspective. And a lot of people are going to want to talk about it. A lot of people are going to want to talk about where he's going next and who's doing what. And what I want you to do is not even worry about that conversation. I know we just had like a brief one. That was me getting Antonio Pierce hired for all of our listeners in Las Vegas. They got to stay with what they got. They turned it on. It's great. Everything's great. Steer clear of the Harbaugh going somewhere conversation. We'll know when we know. And last night, as he said, you know what? And we typically start spring practice on Valentine's Day because we love football. I love that. He told Greg McElroy, he said, Greg, are you going to coach? He said, well, I'm still in football, and do a little TV here. He's like, well, you're not going to coach. And he said, no. He said, you don't love football. You play until you can't play anymore, and then you coach until you die. Jim Harbaugh. That's who he is. That's who he is. He's quirky. He's fun. And last night, to see his mom and dad, his brother there, hugs all around, the first family of football, the Harbaugh family. Who's had more success than them? Nobody. Somebody has, but it's neither here nor there. It's a great day. It's a great day to celebrate a 34-13 victory in the national championship game. 15-0, a Rose Bowl, a Natty, a third consecutive Big Ten title, a third consecutive victory over the Buckeyes. The Michigan Wolverines have reached the pinnacle, folks. They actually did it. It all happened. It all came to fruition. It all happened with Jim Harbaugh. Enjoy the next, I don't care how long, year and a half, I guess. The day after the national championship, Michigan. Have a great Block M, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Talk to you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Michigan Sports Network.
Tracy, over to you for weather.
The sun must be shining, Dave, because the 7 for 7 sale is back at Meijer. Mix or match hundreds of items like Dan and Greek yogurt, Meijer frozen steamable vegetables, and Kraft macaroni and cheese. Pick any 7 for just $7. There's a strong chance of saving with the same quality Meijer deals in-store or online. Back to you, Dave.
Sounds great, Tracy.
Deals so good, you've just got to talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Fish On, the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit, January 11th through 14th.
At the Suburban Collection Showplace with over 7 acres of the newest fishing tackle, fishing boats, and fishing trips. Take it from fishing pro Mark Zona.
This is the largest pure fishing show in the country. It's the Fishing Boat Show. Buy from dealers who know how to rig them right.
Shop fishing tackle only available once a year. Seminars on 5 stages.
Meet guides and lodge owners. The Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit, January 11th through 14th at the Suburban Collection Showplace.
Whoa, put that one in the box.
Huge here with a reminder that I'll be broadcasting live for the Suburban Collection Showplace in Detroit for the Ultimate Fishing Show. Detroit, I'll be there Friday, 3 until 6. Statewide broadcast. Lomas Brown will be at the Impact Power Sports booth where you can register to win Lomas's Lions golf cart. It's this Thursday through Sunday, the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi. Look for the huge show in Lomas Brown. There Friday starting at 2 p.m.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here. AB's doing a heck of a job, and I'm ready to drop some huge opinions about what he's talking about later today at 3.